Okay, boys and girls, today I wanted to talk to you about the meaning or the main idea behind the three books that you have listened to so far, right? Yesterday I read Strictly No Elephants to you, and you listened to Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, which is one of my favorite books. I actually have some of the sayings from it painted on Nicole's wall. And today you listen to The Last Stop on Market Street. So I'm wondering if you noticed anything that was the same about these books or what these books might have been talking about. So we put them up here. Green works better because of the glare. So I'm going to try and print lower so you don't notice the glare or it's not in our way. All right, so Strictly No Elephants. Yeah, figuring out how to spell it. Strictly No Elephants. Whew. It's a long word. Stand Tall, Molly Lou, this might be longer, Mellon, and today's was Last Stop on Market Street. Okay, so let's think about what the books talked about. In Strictly No Elephants, by the way, beautiful picture, Jolene. And she'd sent me a picture and told me that I was right. She would pick a bat. So I was happy to know that, and your picture made me smile. In Strictly No Elephants, the little boy had an elephant as a pet. First of all, can you have an elephant as a pet? Especially in a top floor apartment? Probably not, because elephants are wild animals, right? But anyway, in our story, he had a pet elephant, and he went to pet play day, and what happened? They wouldn't let him in. They said strictly no elephants, right? If you remember in the story, after he found out they weren't letting elephants in and he walked away, so let's see, here's what it looked like when he went there, right? So it's pretty bright, happy, sunny. He was being nice to his elephant. Then it says strictly no elephants. And look what's happening in this page. Can you see it? You can see it better in the next page. That's how he's starting to feel. Now look at this page. How do you think the little boy feels? What does it look like outside now? It's dark and raining, and he looks like he's all by himself, right? And he looks sad and lonely. You notice a little girl over here. She looks the same way, right? She's sitting on a bench all by herself looking sad and lonely. But then they get together and start talking, and they decide to make a group of their own. Look what's happening in the picture now. Is it still raining? Does it look sad and lonely in the picture? No, right? It's bright and sunny. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yesterday when I read it to you, boys and girls, I didn't notice. Look, here's the little girl whose pet is a penguin, and look in this window. There's the giraffe. These are what we call context clues or ideas that the author has given us and the illustrator have given us in the pictures of the story, and they can help tell the story, right? You could have a picture that's bright and sunny with rainbows, and you know that everybody is happy, right? That makes you feel really, really good. Or you can have a picture like the one in this book with the rain, where the little boy looks like he's all by himself and he's sad and lonely. So he feels bad, right? Because they won't let his elephant in. He meets a friend who's having the same problem. She has a skunk. And they decide to make their own club. And what are they going to do? Let everybody in, right? Everybody's going to play. Everybody, no matter what kind of pet you have, can come in, right? There was the narwhal and the bat and the giraffe and the penguin, the hedgehog, the porcupine. Everybody could come in and play. And then how did everybody look at the end of that story? Happy, right? So in that story, they want you to remember that no matter what pet you have, everybody should be able to play together, right? It shouldn't matter. So the main idea of that story is what? Everybody can play, right? Everybody can be friends. So I'll put it underneath. Everyone can play. Right? Now, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, which you listened to yesterday, was about the tiniest girl in first grade. She was tinier even than her bed, right? No, it's not you, Valentina, although you're a very nice girl. I don't know why they didn't name her Valentina. Maybe we should write the author. Anyway, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon was the tiniest girl, but she had a big heart and a big personality. And she had friends, right, who she could play with and do things with. And then she moved and had to go to a new school. So she was doing all the things that she loved to do, but there was somebody at the new school who didn't want her to get friends, who didn't like what she was doing. Do you remember his name? Ronald Durkin. And every time she did one of her amazing things, like stacking her pennies or cutting the snowflake, when she sang, he said she sounded like a sick duck. He wasn't very nice to her, was he? And then they were playing football the one day, and he was like, "You can't play, you're too little." And she gets the ball, and she runs between his legs, knocks him over, and makes a touchdown. Right? And then everybody, even Ronald Durkin, liked Molly Lou Mellon and wanted to play, right? So in that story, same thing. Everybody can play. You don't have to give up your elephant to be part of something. You can make your own group. You don't have to change the things that you can do or who you are to be something different. You just be yourself and your friends will find you, right? So that this story too is the same thing. Everybody can play, right? Uh-oh, boys and girls, I left my markers at school and my red is running out. Everyone can be a friend. Sorry, my marker's running out. All right, and today, last stop on Market Street that you listened to, there was a little boy, right, who was with his Nana, I think she was. And all he kept doing was complaining. Why do we have to wait for the bus? Why can't we have a car? Why can't I have headphones? Why can't we listen to music like the big boys are? Why do we have to go where we're going, right? And his Nana always had an answer. My favorite was the answer about the music, right? When the blind man comes on the bus and the boy listens to the music with his eyes closed. And he has all these great ideas in his head, what the music sounds like to him. Have you guys done that in music class? I think you did, didn't you? When you listened to the Nutcracker and she had you draw pictures of what the Nutcracker made you feel like, or what the songs from the Nutcracker made you think about. But every time he complained, his Nana would tell him there's something else beautiful here. You just need to look at it. Stop looking at what you don't have or what you can't do, and start embracing or looking at the beautiful things around you. Even when they got off at the last stop on Market Street and everything was boarded up and crumbling and kind of dirty looking, right? And remember what Nana said, when things are dirty on the ground, it gives you a better reason to look up and see the beauty in the sky. And then he saw a rainbow, right? So what do you think? That moral is not everybody can play or everybody can be a friend, but that the moral of that story is that if you are kind, if you are nice, you can see things in a better way, right? You have to look at the beauty all around you. So you have to look to find the good things. Stop wanting what you don't have and look for the good things in your life, right? Oh, sorry. I'll have to remember to bring one of my new markers home. That red one is done. Okay, so all of these, the reason I wanted to talk to you about the main idea is not to point out what a main idea is in a story, because you have to do that on IXL. The main idea is what the story is about, right? It's not just about a little boy and his elephant. It's how the little boy felt and then what you can do about it, right? The moral was everybody can play. If you're feeling left out, or you see someone else who feels left out, then maybe you need to go talk to them and go play with them and see if they want to join. Right? The reason that I picked this, besides talking about the main idea, is because in religion we've been talking a lot about Lent, right? We entered this new season, the 40 days of Lent, and we've been talking a lot about not necessarily giving something up, but working harder to be better at something, or doing kind and good deeds to make other people feel better, to help other people's piece of Jesus in their heart get bigger, because that will make yours bigger, right? So these stories point out some of the things that you can do during Lent, and their main ideas will help you come up with ideas of things that you can do, right? Everybody can play, so what you can do when you see somebody not playing is ask them to play. That's a good deed. That will definitely make them feel better, right? Or you could be a friend to everybody. Same thing, right? Sometimes when the person's not playing, it's because they feel like they don't have any friends. So you can just go over and say hi or sit and talk with them. It's been so much fun to watch you guys bring Teresa into our classroom. I know she was a little nervous about it or worried that she might not have somebody to play with because she's been home, but now she's back. And you guys have been so good playing with Teresa. And remember the other day when she wanted to play the farm game, Chloe, you came right over to play with her? Like, that was a great thing. So she could play the farm game. And then you both cheated and kept stealing my pieces. Don't think I've forgotten. But it was fun anyway. And last stop on Market Street, on those days when you don't feel too good or you're grumpy because you're tired, or maybe mommy's grumpy because mommies get grumpy too. So do daddies. Maybe you can help them look for the good things, right? Sometimes when Mrs. Hedeker is grumpy, you guys do that for me. You draw a picture, makes me smile. Anthony drew a picture on Wednesday of Duncan, Mr. Tom's dog, driving a car. And we took it over to Mr. Tom to give it to him. And Mr. Tom got the biggest smile on his face. Do you remember, Anthony? And he gave you a fist bump. And he was still chuckling and happy when we left Mr. Tom's office. Sometimes it's things like that. Just looking for the good things, pointing them out to other people. Right? When you see a rainbow or you're having fun. Maybe when mommy's cooking, you could even just say, Mom, that smells so good. Sometimes mommies don't know what to cook. Or they don't want to cook. And they have to anyway because you can't cook, you're too little. Right? So, the reason we read these books or listened to these books, besides finding the main idea or what the story is about, was also to point out some of the things that you can do during the season of Lent. Okay? All right, boys and girls, I'm going to have you go on IXL and you're going to do a thing on main ideas for a story. They're going to show you a picture and then they're going to give you 2 sentences. Okay? So the picture could be this. This could be the picture. And then there'll be a sentence under it that says, Max plays the drums. And another sentence that says, Max plays with a ball. And you have to pick the right sentence, right? That's the main idea. If you look at this picture, you can tell. You might not know his name is Max, but if that's the name they use, then you know it now. That his name is Max. Plus, he's got drumsticks. There's no balls anywhere in sight. So you know Max must like to play the drums. Okay? Remember what I talked to you about when we were looking through the pictures for Strictly No Elephants. Sometimes the pictures help you figure out what's going on, right? This is the sad picture after him and his elephant got turned away. And you can see how sad he is. The sky turned dark. It started raining. Everything got blue instead of all the colors. All right, boys and girls, have fun with it.